when you turn that on, it's supposed to cue one of the, and we've been having some issues with it, but it tracks
Oh, who's talking?
who's talking.
Oh, wow. I'm like AI.
Kind of, yeah. It's more, it's dumb. It's got to be lit up and
Gotcha.
have some cue on where to go, but.
Okay, Madam Mayor, we are live streaming, recording, and ready to go.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you all for being here this evening. It's just a little chilly, so glad you were trekked out. It's Tuesday, February 12th. Is that what day we are today? 11th. Sorry, February 11th, 2025. It is 7:02, and I now call to order the 2154th regular meeting of the City of College Place City Council. Mary Elizabeth, will you please take roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Cleveland,
Present.
Councilmember Peterson,
Present.
Councilmember Williams,
Present.
and Councilmember Sherman. Present. We do have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Will you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? All right, thank you. It's now time for public comment. Mary Elizabeth, did anyone submit a written comment in advance or request to speak via telephone or virtually?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And if anyone in council chambers would like to speak at this time on anything that is not on the agenda, please raise your hand. All right, seeing none, we're going to move on then. It's time for the consent agenda, which consists of the agenda for tonight, February 11th, 2025, the council minutes from January 28th, 2025, the council workshop minutes from February 4th, 2025, the EMS contract for 2025 levy distribution, excusing the absences of council member Boyle, Jessup, and Espinosa. Is there any items any member of the council would like removed from the consent agenda at this time?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second, Councilmember Cleveland.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Sorry. There's one presentation tonight, and I have the honor of presenting our very own John Rickard with an Employee Years Service Award. And at looking at this, it looks like he has given us 20 years of his life. So, I just want to read this. So it's a certificate of achievement in grateful recognition of your 20th work anniversary. Your commitment, hard work, and contributions over the last 2 decades significantly impacted the success and growth of the city of College Place. We do thank you for your loyalty, your positive attitude, and the countless ways you've helped to make the city of College Place a great place to work. Congratulations on this milestone. I'm going to bring this over to you.
What's the actual date?
July 26th, 2004.
So we're late.
Yes, we're
We're a
late.
little behind. We got some transitions happening.
We're gonna be late.
We're gonna now get some cake.
Maybe a third.
30. I heard.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, John, for all you do.
I bet you your kids, when they think about what dad does, it's like, I don't know, he does something at the city. I don't know, right? Because they've never known you not doing things here for the city.
One of the earliest drawings.
Do you want to turn on your microphone?
Oh,
One of the earliest drawings from my oldest Oliver is a picture of him at work with Papa, and it says that he wants to be a planner too. So I have a very weird hairdo. It's there's like no hair in the back and like a little bit on top. It's very bizarre. But he got it backwards then.
well, it just might be that at that point in life, that's what you're gonna look like, and he's gonna
Right.
take your job.
We'll grow into it.
Well, thank you again, John, truly. All right, we have no public hearings tonight, so we're just going to move right on to the action items. We have 4 of them tonight. First, Mr. Rickard's going to inform us of the needs to increase the Lions Park project contingency by 5%.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have Brian Hansen here with Anderson Perry and also Jay Penninger who on the line with Anderson Perry to answer any questions or provide any additional information if needed. So when we first awarded the contract to Nelson Construction, we were optimistic and hoping that if we increase the budget to $6 million, that was a 5% contingency that we believe that would be enough to get us through completion of the project. We've had some changes, some some mostly driven by just, the need to do things like tree removals. We realized that we needed to remove all the vegetation on the island and replant that. So there's a big increase there. There've been some modification adjustments to the buildings. And so we are that close to reaching that cap on the contingency. And so we're expecting some additional changes to come through. We're looking at going from asphalt pathways to concrete and actually making them a little bit wider. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Some additional costs associated with excavation of the pond. The pond retaining wall had some additional water that we had to deal with behind it from underground spring. So design changes like that. With the additional expenses that we're anticipating at this point, I didn't provide this document to you, but Anderson Perry provided it to me yesterday. And if I can find that in my paperwork here, of course, I didn't print a copy of that. Right? Oh, here it is. I think we're looking at estimating total construction cost at 6.2 million. So that would leave us with about 138,000 additional based off of the request that I'm asking for now for any other unforeseen changes that we might have between now and April 1st, when we hope to have the project completed. So with that, I'd open for any questions that you might have, and Brian and Jay can hopefully help out fill in the gaps if there are any.
All right, thank you. So we did hear about this last week during our workshop, and Perry was so great in explaining things to us, and so very helpful for that. I know we had some questions. I believe they got addressed. I'm seeing some of the listed of what's been changed, the revisions, ADA requirement for the fishing platform, which I think is very important, as well as some of the other vegetation, because we're doing this, we're putting a lot of money into it, and we need to make sure we're doing it right. So I appreciate you bringing this to us. So I'm going to go to council members for questions or comments, and I'm going to shake it up because I'm that kind of a gal. And I'm going to let Lawrence, I
Well,
see,
you are
I
shaking
blew
it up
my own
there.
joke. I just blew my own joke. I'm going to let Councilmember Sherman go first.
And she gave me a heads up. I don't think I have any questions. I was gonna ask about the 138,000, how long that needed to last, but we're still thinking April-ish.
Yes. Yep. That is non-negotiable. We will be open. Yes, that's happening.
Brian's eyebrows are getting higher and higher. We're good? Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Williams, questions or comments?
No questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Peterson, questions or comments?
Yeah, so what was the dollar amount? I'm sorry, a little bit remote here. Was it 100 and what?
Yeah,
additional-
so the increase is an additional $358,000 over the original budget of 6 million. So that would bring the total project to $6.358 million.
Okay.
Based on what we're projecting costs to be, we're projecting at this point in time, additional costs, construction costs to be about 6.2 million. So that's where that, $138,000 is, that's unaccounted for.
So John, it's fine. I thought I heard this is the number we discussed during the workshop, correct?
Yeah, roughly there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I heard something different here right now, and so I apologize. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, and correction, I think it was at a prior council meeting. It wasn't at a workshop. No.
Oh, okay.
Time flies, I tell you. All right. Councilmember Cleveland.
No questions.
Okay. If I recollect, was the discussion, I was gonna say last week, but a few weeks ago, that we still had funds to cover this? Or is this gonna come out of,
So the general game plan was originally, we had some REIT 2 money, real estate excise tax 2 money set aside for Veterans Park. Now with the grants we have for Veterans Park, it does have additional years onto it. So the general idea is that we punt Veterans Park for a year, which we were gonna need to do anyway, because since the playground ended up not being what we thought it was, I'm having to chase additional money and make that happen. So the idea is to supplant it with the REIT 2 money we were sitting on for that this year, and then let it recollect for Veterans Park for next year.
okay, fair enough. So the gentleman from Anderson Perry, since you've taken the time to be here, do either of you have anything you wanted to add? All right, please press a button, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, Brian Hanson with Anderson Perry. Thanks for having me. No, I think John covered it pretty well, unless you have any other questions.
Any other questions for
Melody, you gotta have a hard question for me.
an engineering question? Come on.
It could be anything. What's the most important thing that you do for the citizens?
Wow, that is a challenging question. I guess I say this a lot. I grew up in Walla. I moved back 7 years ago, and the fact that I get to come to these kind of meetings in the area I grew up with and work on parks. This park is the project I've worked on in my entire career that I get the most questions on. I have an 8th grader and a 4th grader, which means I know all the kids who play at the park and all the moms and all the dads. And so truly it is getting to work on projects like this. So thanks, Molly.
And we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments from council? From staff, any? If not, do we have a motion?
I would like to move to increase the Lions Park Improvement Project contingency amount by $358,000 for a total construction dollar amount not to exceed $6,358,000.
Second.
Wonderful. That was Councilmember Sherman. We have a first and a second. Any additional discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you, John. And thank you for being here again and for coming a few weeks back ago. It was really helpful to understand and being in that hot seat, because I know some of the questions weren't easy to take. Thank you. All right, Mr. Rizzatello, you're going to provide some updates on the TIB funded sidewalk project on Southeast 8th Street from Birch to Larch.
Okay, thank you. So the contract in front of you is to increase the amount to JUB by a little over 47,000. It's for the 8th Street project. Now, the sidewalk engineering portion has been in budget. However, keep in mind the eastern extent of 8th Street near Lions Park, the pavement decreases where essentially two cars have trouble even driving past each other. So this is the old adage of trying to do a project correctly and not having to go back. So we're looking at essentially engineering a appropriate roadway on the eastern section, and then also a little bit tiny bit of right of way right at the corner, because in order to fit in the rapid flashing beacon so people can actually safely get across Larch, there needs to be about an additional like 5 feet or so of flare it out correctly. So that's what this additional cost increase is for. And the general idea to go in and try to build the appropriate road width over there is TIB money will be supplanted with transportation benefit district money to actually get an appropriate road, so, and sidewalk. So that's the gist of it.
Mike, do we know if the right of way or the acquisition, however it's going to be, are we talking about the north side or the south side?
South side.
The south side.
Yeah. So that way it's the same side as where all the Lions Park activities are.
Okay, is that the side with it like a creek or something, or?
There is no creek. There is like a fence and stuff.
Oh, that's the back.
You're thinking Larch
That's
further
further back.
south.
That's further back.
Yeah, that has nothing.
This one
to
just
do-
has a fence. in
Yeah,
the front.
this has a fence, but the fence is actually in the right of
Oh,
way.
that's right.
But so there needs to be a little bit behind that to basically account for the appropriate flaring out, because it's a lot like with these other flashing beacons that we're trying to get installed at Rose and Lambert, and then over by a post office. I mean, equipment takes some space.
Yeah, okay. Councilmember Cleveland, questions or comments?
No questions, but looking forward to some good walkability through there.
I know even right now, the way it is, it's even not safe to be walking on that side of the street. Councilmember Peterson, questions or comments?
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Williams?
No questions. I would just comment that this is so important because of though we've done pedestrian safety plans, but getting the sidewalks in is key. So I really want us to keep going on these projects.
And Councilmember Sherman?
No questions.
All right. So if there's no discussions, do we have a motion on this authorization?
I'd like to motion to authorize Public Works Director or designee to approve and sign contract amendment for the 8th Street sidewalks. Birch to Larch project increasing by $47,900.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Sherman, thank you. Any further discussions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you. Third on the agenda tonight is a countywide hazard mitigation plan. Mr. Isatello, you're still up.
Yes, I won't belabor this one. We ended up seeing an extensive presentation of that at the last workshop. So with that one, again, that's how we get a lot of the capital projects that could be correlated to the hazards that get funded by people that are not us. So that's the gist of that.
Okay, one quick question.
Yeah.
It occurred to me that, so this is a lot for FEMA, is quite a bit for this. Is there any thoughts if FEMA doesn't exist, what is going to, how this will be utilized?
I mean, put it this way, there still are emergency buckets within the Economic Development Administration, State Public Works Board, and other resources. So it's not like it would be for nothing. And I think some semblance of like hazard money is going to have to be somewhere. So even if FEMA did go away, one would think it would be somewhere.
All right. Then I'm gonna just switch it up again and Councilmember Sherman.
No questions. Like they said, we did have a lengthy presentation last week. And questions at that time. So thanks.
Councilmember Williams?
Despite the lengthy discussion,
I'll do it again.
no, it's pretty simple, I hope. I've forgotten what BRIC stands for.
Oh,
It's a building resiliency infrastructure capacity grant. That's like the name of it. It was like a newer grant program that was done about a decade ago after Katrina. So
Is that also FEMA?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Councilmember Peterson?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. And Councilmember Cleveland?
No questions.
All right, so if there's no further discussion, do we have a motion for this resolution?
Make a motion to adopt resolution number 25-008, accepting the updated countywide hazard mitigation plan.
Second, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. All right, well, guys, we're moving right along. The last action item on the agenda tonight is a memorandum of understanding with the YMCA for childcare segment of the Lions Park Community Building.
Yes, thank you. So Thank you. So, with this YMCA MOU, so I believe I mentioned this a couple meetings ago, but just as a refresher, so YMCA, they end up getting a pre-design development grant from State Department of Commerce for over 200,000 at the time, and the way it was written by Karen Heding was that it could be used either to architecturally design a center across from the current YMCA on Park Avenue, the Truax property it's referred to, or for something in College Place. Now, because of situations as they are over in Wall Wall, and they it was just proven that there was going to have to be like a lot of hoops and things to establish a facility over there, and then plus for general monetary reasons as well, at the Y board elected to sell the Truax property on the open market, so it is for sale right now. So because of that, they were sitting on the remaining grant. So since College Place was mentioned, they essentially want to give it to us to add into money we had from the county from .09 and do the architectural plans for the community center. So that's what this is for. Otherwise, it's all it can be used for, anything connected with the Lions Park Community Center.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Cleveland, questions or comments?
I'm not going to say no to money given us. No questions.
Councilmember Peterson,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Williams.
So is this money only for architecture and design, or can we roll it over into construction?
Architecture and design.
Okay, cool.
All right, Councilmember Sherman.
No question.
All right, if there's no questions or comments any further, do we have a motion? Let's see, this is a resolution.
I'll move to adopt resolution number 25-009, which permits the city administrator to sign an MOU with the YMCA pertaining to commerce grant funds for architectural design of the Lions Park Community Center.
Second, Peterson.
Excellent, thank you, Councilmember Peterson. If any additional discussions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you, Mike. All right, there's no administrative reports on our agenda tonight, and there's no informational reports in your packet. We do have an executive session on our agenda, but I have a question. Councilmember Peterson was not going to stay for the executive session, so we are not going to have a quorum. So we can't have an executive session.
What I
right.
can, what I
Go
can
ahead.
do, Councilmember Peterson, is restart this Zoom session, and I just won't make it public. And so you could, in theory, enter again.
Councilmember Peterson, are you able to hang in there just a little bit longer?
Yeah, do you want me to? So, use the original Zoom login that I did a
Yes,
little
sir.
while ago. You're saying in
Yes.
Hubbard, yeah. Okay.
So in about 2 minutes, 1
Can you-
minute,
Can somebody text me or
I can text you.
can you? Okay, great. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so I'm gonna just quickly read my little thing here, that the governing body may hold executive session from which the public may be excluded for those purposes set forth in RCW 42.30.110. Should the session require more time, a public announcement shall be made that the session will be extended. So the city of College Place will now meet in executive session to discuss potential litigation pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 1I. Let's see, the council will be in executive session until, let's see, we have it scheduled for 25 minutes at this time. That seem appropriate? Okay.
I don't. That's too long.
You think that's too long?
minutes?
I think 10 minutes. And I would request that Brian stay for this as it has to do with a project and the other.
Okay, so 10 minutes, you sure?
Yeah, we can just,
All right, so we'll do
Yeah.
till 7:38 PM.
Wait, like, do we want to?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, push it. Thank you all for being here.
Nice to meet
We appreciate it.
Actually, Councilmember Peterson, why don't you stay on the line?
Yeah, I mean, that's appropriate. I mean, the quorum, does the quorum apply to the executive session?
Yeah. Yes.
So, okay. I'm just gonna stay on then. That's what you just said.